Now, you click this video because you just want to know this any good. Yes. Is for everyone? No. This is very specific genre and specific people who like that specific genre. Sort of adult animated films with shock, drugs, and a little bit of politics. And that's basically what it really is. But even that is even more simpler and more traditional adult filming, specifically Rat Bouchy. If you don't know who he is, Rat Bouchy is sort of the original Sid MacFarlane for Family Guy. Like, you like Family Guy? Well, he is Rat Bouchy is sort of the original guy who made that original material, but a film form. In fact, he has one that a lot of people compare to MacFarlane and Rat Bouchy is sort of Fritz the Cat. It's basically Family Guy, but remove Peter, Brian, and the main lead and make him a cat. That's basically it, but set it in the 70s. That's give you a general idea what type of film Fix really is. Is that specific genre, the art style, the music, even some of the dialogue they use are very cuss, very raw conversations, exactly like that. Of course, this is not for everyone. People don't like this specific genre if I can't even force you to watch it if you don't enjoy this. But if you do like it, like me, 100% recommend it because it's fun, stupid, and something that you have nothing to do, make your day if you like this specific genre. Now, before I actually get started with this review, my name is Recho. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, through reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, you like how it's going, you like to help my channel, put a like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only thing you need to do. If not, that's fine. You do. Thank you. Because of you, I'm getting close to my main goal of 2,000 subscribers. And yes, I'm getting close every single day because of people like you. People who like, comment, and share. Thank you. Now let's get started on the review of Fix. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is a little bit about the controversy, because at the very end, when it was dropped, a lot of people had a very strong opinion, even that none of you watched the film. You just react to the trailer because the trailer was, let's face it, a little bad, but because I know and dozen people who are critics or people who love animation pointing out it's just a bad trailer, especially with Gindi. Because let's face it, if you love Gindi, you like all his work, you understand what type of person he really is. He's a guy who loves animation. He always give you a B+ performance, because let's face it, how much I love Gindi, how much I praise and call him a genius, the guy always had a ton of flaws, but they can overlook it because most of it is pretty good. But because of this, I give a definite doubt this movie was actually good. And you know what? It was, because it did surprise me a couple of times, because Gindi got it, understood what this genre is about, what to do, and what to expect. And all this expectation was completely well executed. Even that this movie is completely simple, like the whole story about this one dog realized he's about to be fixed. He's sort of in denial at first, and last second he decides to run away to not deal with the problem. But even that do have a sort of conversation. If you remove a person's body parts to make him less as a dog or not, and that's sort of the subject matter or the sort of problem that our main lead faces. Even his friend, even her next door neighbor who has a crush on him, tell them that's not a real bad deal. You could be okay, be normal. Even that has a really interesting sort of point of view of being the dog. Even that is sort of cliche, because this idea you've seen the film has been used dozens of times in cartoons. In fact, The Simpsons did a specific episode of this. Family Odd Parents did also an episode. I think South Park also did one, a sort of small story of it. But you know, this is very basic. But at the very end is what actually well executed, because everything here was fun and endearing, and also very respectful. Because at the very end, or removing someone's, let's say, man part, it is a very kind of delicate subject because you usually make fun of it or be like, bro, don't overthink it. This is okay. They think this is the right choice. You just trust your owners. But let's face it, it's not your body parts. Of course, you will panic. But other than that, I like that sort of small conversations they did have. That sort of raw, like, yeah, you don't have to worry. It's okay. I mean, it's not removing who you actually are. It's just sort of a sort of surgery you kind of need. And I found that sort of interesting. Especially, I did like sort of the relationship of the next door neighbor dog and our main lead. They have that sort of, they like each other, but they won't admit it. They walk around the subject matter, but I do believe they actually romantically adhere to each other. They really want to be together, but the simple fear, they just don't know how to talk about it. And that could be very tiring, but no, the both voice actors nailed their performances, nailed their sort of chemistry. You do care about both characters, falling in love with them, noticing even that it's not the main subject matter. It's just sort of something plus in the side. Besides that, sort of removing your man parts. Besides of knowing who you are, it does a lot of interesting, fun things. This movie, I almost feel this was, if they decided to make this a mini series, they probably explore a little bit more because every single dog has a chance to have their personality, deal with this sort of situation, deal what to do next. It was very daring and wholesome, and none of it feels rushed or anything. You have enough to understand what their personality is and what was the end goal. Now, besides that, I have to admit, I really love the animation. I mean, it's not surprise, it's Ghibli. Like, one thing you do expect, like Ghibli, at least have a good animation. Even that this project was sort of very low budget. I'm not sure what the budget was, but I do know usually this type of films, they don't really have high budget. They usually have around 60 to 80 billion dollar type of budgets because they just don't know this will be successful or not. So I'm assuming could be around 60 or 80 billion. If it was, they did handle pretty well. And I'm 100% sure a lot of fans on Twitter complain about all the animation looks bad, the character designs are bad, even that none of them are professional animators. They just look up stuff. You understand this is actually really good. You understand Ghibli is so used to working low ball type of projects, he make it work. He's the one who quite literally make the franchise Transylvania good, because that project was a mess. That project about to be canceled. The last minute they hired Ghibli to look at it, and quite literally a few seconds later he fixed the couple of scenes, and that's the reason why they decided to make him the director, the main lead, the one who fixed everything of that specific project, because he is that good. Giving him basically a couple of bucks, he make anything good because he is professional. He also assessed with animation. This is the reason why the background, the character designs, the fluency, at least when you think is necessary, is actually really good. Because a lot of people think or compare anime to Western animation. Like, the only reason why they have high budget is two specific reasons. One, because the manga is based on has a huge fan base. This is the reason why they have a huge budget. And second of all the animators only get paid for 10 cents per page. So in other words, right here in the West, don't do that. They don't trust it. They don't have that sort of thing. This is the reason why they don't have the same high budget. Even that, not all anime had high budget. That's only very rare. Maybe 4 anime projects or 2 projects of year has that type of budget. Even that, sometimes they have to wait a little longer or think of different ways to execute a low budget they have to make it amazing. In other words, it's the same thing here at Western. The only difference is they don't enslave the animators working for 10 uh, 10 cents a page, and they barely have money to pay their rent. Like, you have to really think about why Japanese animators don't get paid pretty well, but you have really great animation because they basically force them to be that situation. Like, it's sort of unfair and also unreasonable. I don't know, there's something really bothering me because a lot of people pretend all the Japanese animation is more dominant because of this. Like, yeah, because they don't pay the animators, that's why. But other than that, this is really good. The character, the animation, the music. The only minor complaint is the fact I just don't like one song or two, because the rest of the songs feels from the 70s or 80s. That one or two feels for the early 2000s, that it feels sort of odd, but it sort of makes sense because the situation they put themselves in, the sort of scene. It just, I get it, even then I want to complain. Other than that, I can't say much. I just enjoyed it. I had fun. I understood what it was. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you did like it, tell me why. Tell me down below. Let me know. Honestly, I got nothing else to say. Just thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Bye.